Sydney, thank you. As coronavirus cases increase, health officials say there are certain groups of people where the virus seems to impact them more. We're talking about seniors, men, and anyone who smokes. And joining us this morning with more about that is board-certified family medicine physician, Dr. Stephanie Herodopoulos. Great to have you.
Hi, Stephanie. It's good to see you. Thank you so much for being here with us. And thank you so much for participating in our coronavirus thing that we did on Friday. Your expertise was really so much needed, and we appreciate you being with us.
It was a blast. All the doctors had a great time, and what a wonderful service that Fox gave back to the community.
One of the things that you mentioned that I wasn't even really aware of, I mean, you're very much an advocate about anti-smoking, anti-vaping, and you said that is one of the things that you really want to drive home in terms of coronavirus and people really quitting those things in terms of hoping to help them not get this virus.
If there was ever a time when everyone is thinking about their health, it's now.
Yeah.
So now is the time to think about quitting. Tobacco Free Florida has great pearls of advice on their website. And, you know, you can get nicotine replacement patches sent to your house. You know, there are ways where you can quit smoking that are safe. Vaping is not one of them. I want to make sure that people aren't going to quit smoking to start vaping. But if you're putting chemicals in your lung, how are you going to fight these flu coronaviruses? You need to just keep your lungs pure. Of course, you're going to be more vulnerable. You'd be the one that has a very severe respiratory illness and possibly death.
We were talking in the commercial break about the numbers out of China and the death rate in China. And one of the things a lot of people may not know is that Chinese men smoke at about a 70% rate.
Wow.
So when you talk about how you're already compromising your lungs and then adding a respiratory illness into it, why is that such a deadly combination?
Well, you know, all the chemicals that are in tobacco cause your lungs to not, your immune system to be lower. You're not able to do good air exchange. You're producing more mucus. It's going to be stickier. When you are exposed to viruses and bacteria, that's when you're going to get the bronchitis and the pneumonia, and that's when your lungs are going to fill up. And unfortunately, these people are the ones that will be in the ICU.
You know, here's the other thing that I find very interesting is that the elderly seem to be very, very affected by COVID. Talk to me a little bit about that. What is it about the elderly that makes them more susceptible than, say, children who don't seem to be as affected at all?
You know, as we age, our immune system wanes. That's a normal part of life, unfortunately. That's why when, you know, over the age of 60, you should get a shingle shot because our immunity is not as good. And of course, everyone should be getting the flu and the pneumonia shot who are over age 60. So hopefully everyone's up to date with that. And when the coronavirus vaccine comes out in about a year, I think that the elderly should certainly take that. But your immune system wanes, and therefore you're more vulnerable to fall victim to the pathogens that you're exposed to. Look, we just saw the director of the National Institute of Infectious Disease and Allergies say, look, if you're a senior, you probably, and you have underlying medical conditions, don't go on a cruise. And we got a lot of questions of the phone bank on Friday about travel.
Yeah.
And that's what I was saying to the elderly. You know, you have to take a history and look at each individual and then get a decision on what you should and should not do.
We're almost out of time, but I just want to make sure you get in about the legislation that's moving through right now.
So, you know, previously we talked about how, you know, vaping, we've had almost 70 deaths and 2,800 cases of vaping-associated lung injury. The legislature is doing the responsible thing, and they want to regulate it. It's not regulated. Vape shops aren't regulated. So Senator Simmons, who represents your area, has a phenomenal bill. Session finishes on Friday, and this will regulate vape shops and stop vending machines and stop the bans of flavor and actually give the Department of Professional Business Regulation the tools they need. So hopefully that happens, and that'll make a big dent in reversing the trend of the epidemic of vaping in our state.
Dr. Stephanie Herodopoulos, thank you so much for
We
being with us
appreciate
this morning.
Thank you for
appreciate you being
us.
here.
Great information.